Hello students, today we are here with the second part of the chapter The 100 Races. Let's have an introduction to the chapter. In continuation of the previous lesson, The 100 Races Part 1 reveals why Wanda Petronsky had not been coming to school. The Petronsky family decided to move to a big city where no one would care about their unfamiliar name. On hearing the note, Maddie and Peggy got anxious as they realized that they would never get a chance for making amends for all the teasing they had done. Both the girls get relieved only on learning that Wanda liked them and had dedicated one of the 100 dresses, that is, drawings, to each one of them. Now listen to this overview of the chapter. The lesson begins with all the students of room number 13 having a look at the wonderful drawings of Wanda Petronsky. Only then, a note is received by Miss Mason from Wanda's father informing that none of his two children will attend the school as they are moving to a big city where no one would judge them for their names. Miss Mason was left shocked and conveyed her disappointment to the class. Maddie was affected by this letter of Wanda's father. She instantly developed an urge to apologize to Wanda. Peggy and Maddie, the two best friends, rushed to Bargain Heights, hoping that the family hadn't moved yet. But to their utter surprise, that is to their dismay, there was no sign of life in and around the house. Maddie lost her sleep thinking what a coward she is who couldn't stand against the wrong. That day, she decided that she'll never let anyone tease someone like that again. That weekend, Peggy and Maddie decided to write a letter to Wanda that was originally meant to be apologetic, but they ended up writing a friendly note asking her how did she like the new place. Weeks passed by and there was no reply until one day near Christmas. Miss Mason announced that she heard from Wanda. In that letter, Wanda wrote, she misses everyone and conveyed her intention of gifting one dress each to Maddie and Peggy because she has a whole new lot of 100 dresses lined up in her new house. Both of them were happy to receive it and later realized that it was their faces she had drawn along with the dresses. Thus, they both concluded that Wanda did like them. Now let's go for the further explanation of the chapter. Everyone was having a look at the amazing drawings Wanda had drawn and admiring it when the monitor of the class brought a piece of note for Miss Mason. Miss Mason read that note multiple times as she couldn't believe that what was written in it. Finally, she decided to gather the class to read it loud and clear. It was a letter from Wanda Petronsky dad. She silenced for a while, which created tension in the minds of her students. She adjusted her spectacles, which made it clear how important that note is. She began reading it, and everyone listened carefully. It was written, Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more Haller Palak. No more Haller Palak. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jane Petronsky. The letter began with the solutions to Miss Mason. Wanda's father conveyed his intention of not sending both of his children, Wanda and Jake, to school anymore. He mentioned that they were shifting to another city, a big one where no one would care about their names, their strange names, a big city with a lot of people having odd names. Wanda's classmates thought her name was weird and funny. Wanda's classmates thought that her name was weird and funny. Wanda was a Polish immigrant that is belonged to Poland and immigrated to USA. Wanda was a Polish immigrant to America and thus had an unfamiliar name over there. After hearing what was there in this letter, after hearing what was there in this letter, everyone was left speechless. Miss Mason too was stunned, and thus she cleaned her glasses over them again and spoke to the class in a low voice. She conveyed her disappointment to the class. She conveyed her disappointment to the class and asked them to assure her that nothing was done purposefully to hurt Wanda. She gave the children benefits of doubt that everything they did was done unintentionally. She said whatever happened was sad and unfortunate. She advised the students to introspect about it too. Everyone began thinking about what was written in that letter and how each one of them made Wanda feel. In their first period, Maddie couldn't concentrate on her studies as she felt sick for not stepping Peggy at the right time, for not stopping Peggy at the right time. Maddie couldn't concentrate on studies as she felt sick for not stopping Peggy at right time. Had she stopped Peggy from playing that race game and Wanda, had she stopped Peggy from playing that race game with Wanda, things could have been different. Although Maddie never teased Wanda, but nor did she stop Peggy from doing it, which makes her just as bad or maybe worse. Peggy's intentions were never to hurt Wanda and she was not aware of her game hurtful feelings. Maddie, on the other hand, was aware of its impact. Yet she stood silent, which made her a coward for not standing against what's wrong. Filled with guilt and regret, Maddie wished for a chance to apologize to Wanda. Hoping Peggy would be thinking about Wanda too, she takes a look at Peg, but she was busy studying. Regardless of what Peggy was thinking, Maddie decided to take some action. She hoped Wanda hadn't yet moved away and she could tell her story and say sorry she was and appreciate her 100 races. She hoped Wanda hadn't yet moved away and she could tell her sorry she was and appreciate her 100 races. That day after the school had ended, Peggy asked Maddie if they could go and check if Wanda has moved or not. Maddie was satisfied at the thought that they both had some plans of apologizing to Wanda. Both of them hurried to Boggins Heights, the place where Wanda lived, in order to find her. During this season, the place was generally wet and the atmosphere was sad and hopeless. Peggy tries to comfort herself by murmuring that at least she didn't call her a foreigner. Peggy tries to comfort herself by murmuring that at least she didn't call her a foreigner because she was an immigrant. Neither did she make her feel different for having an unfamiliar name. She was always in this delusion that Wanda had no idea that those girls were making fun of her. Above all, Wanda is such a great artist too. Maddie, on the other hand, couldn't say a word. What she hoped for is a chance to confess. make amends, appreciate her, and try to stop her from moving away. In fact, she even thought of conveying her idea to protect Wanda if anyone tries to trouble her in any way. In order to reach the place before right, in order to reach the place before night, they hurried. In order to place the sorry in order to reach the place before night, they hurried. They saw a quiet little house up there which they thought was the place where Wanda Petronsky lived. The house and its surroundings were shabby but clean, just like Wanda's own outblue dresses. Thin bunches of grass grew along the path that led to the house. They resembled thin kittens. No one could be seen around the house. They knocked both of the front and backyard doors, but to their disappointment, there was no answer. Now the Petronsky had gone, and along with them, Maddie and Peggy's lost chance to make amends too. That is, make confession too. In order to comfort herself, Peggy started saying that Wanda must have looked for drawing inspiration only after she started her dresses game. And hadn't she done that, Wanda would have never won the drawing competition. Maddie also tried to convince her after what Peggy said, and that if this is the case, she doesn't have to feel so bad. But later that night, she couldn't sleep as she was thinking constantly about Wanda's little house, her faded blue dress, both shabby but clean, and her glorious 100 dresses that were all lined up in the classroom instead of the closet. Finally, she sat in her bed and started thinking deeply. The hardest she had ever done. She placed her forehead tight in her hands, which indicated that she was really trying to concentrate. After thinking so much and so deeply, she came to a conclusion that she will always stand against the wrongs and will never say nothing when she has to. She decided that she would never let anyone make fun of others because of their appearance, name, clothes, or where they come from. She would not sigh to speak up against Peggy, even if it meant losing her friendship. She could not go in the past to make amends with Wanda, no matter how much she wanted to. But from now on, she is never going to let another person feel embarrassed or unhappy again. On Saturday, both of them sat together and decided to write a letter to Wanda telling her about the contest, asking her where she is living now and how that place is. No matter how much they wanted to apologize, they couldn't summon the courage to do so, and thus ended up writing a friendly letter as if Wanda was their good friend. They mailed it to Waggins Heights with please forward written on it because they didn't know her new address. There was no reply from Wanda, but they didn't also receive the letter back. Thus, they concluded that it must have reached Wanda, but she was so upset that she didn't answer. They waited for weeks, but still no answer. Peggy began to forget about this whole thing. Peggy began to forget about this whole thing while Maddie used to make scenario in her head before sleeping where she defended Wanda. Maddie used to make scenarios in her head before sleeping where she defended Wanda. She thought of scenarios where large groups of girls surrounded Wanda and would ask her, how many dresses have you got? And as soon as anyone could say more, Wanda would interrupt and say, stop, so that all of them would end up ashamed. It was winter season and there was snow everywhere on the ground. Christmas had come. They decorated their classroom with bells and a small tree. That day, Miss Mason told the students that she had received a letter from Wanda Petronsky. She is very happy to receive it because now she can send her the medal too. Dear Miss Mason, these were the lines of the letter. Dear Miss Mason, how are you in room 13? Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. I'd like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. And my new teacher does not equalize with you. Christmas to you and everybody. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Wanda Petronsky. This was the letter of Wanda Petronsky to her teacher. Now we have the letter began in a very friendly tone. Wanda asked how everyone was and that they could keep her 100 dresses because in her new house she has another lot of 100 dresses lined up in her closet. She specifically mentioned the dress she wanted Maddie and Peggy to take home. The green dress with red trimmings was for Peggy while the blue one was for Maddie. She expressed her affection towards Miss Mason and wrote her new teacher could never replace Miss Mason. She winded up the letter by wishing everyone Merry Christmas and also wrote that she missed everyone in room number 13. It was Christmas season and all the houses were decorated. Grocery stores were stocked with Christmas trees, candy, peppermint sticks and other Christmas stuff. The atmosphere was colorful and joyful. Maddie and Peggy took home the drawings very carefully when Peggy realized that this gesture implied that Wanda liked them. They also assumed that she got their letter and everything was peaceful between them. Maddie, on the other hand, was quite sad because she would never be able to see that Polish, that girl from Poland, tight-lipped girl again. She would never get a chance to make amends, that is to confess. As soon as Maddie reached home, she displayed her drawings on that part of the wall from where her pink flowered wallpaper was slightly torn. As soon as Maddie reached home, she displayed her drawing on that part of the wall from where her pink flowered wallpaper was slightly torn. Maddie's room was shabby too, but the drawing made it lively. She stared at the drawing constantly and thought how nice Wanda had been to them. While staring at the drawing Wanda had given her, Maddie's vision got blurred from tears. While staring at the drawing Wanda had given her, Maddie's visions got blurred from tears. She rubbed her eyes and noticed that Wanda had actually drawn Maddie's face along with the dress. The colors of the dress were so bright and vibrant that the face was hardly visible. Maddie got excited and ran towards Peggy to check if she had noticed it too. As soon as she reached Peggy's house, she asked her for the picture. The drawing was lying upside down on the bed. Maddie raised it and yes, it was Peggy's in that drawing. It was Peggy in that drawing. Both were left in shock and awe at the same time. Or that is in surprise. Peggy exclaims that she was right about the thought that Wanda liked them. Maddie, whose eyes get filled with tears every time she recalled that scene where Wanda would look at this girl laughing at her, also agreed with Peggy.